channel. And in tonight's show, we do have Mercury that goes into Pisces on our hands. It happens at the 6th of February, uh, almost 6 p.m., 5:48 p.m., that is Eastern Standard Time. And it's going to stay there actually for quite some time because it goes retrograde at the 26th of February, at least according to my calendar. Then it goes direct again in Pisces at the 20th of March, and finally it moves into Aries at the 9th of April. So it will stay in Pisces for again quite some time, almost a couple of months. Give me a second. But what we're going to look into today is its phase and its transit through the sign of Pisces, all the way up until it goes retrograde there, which is up until the 26th of February. It happens at 1:48 a.m. and the hour is attuned to the Eastern Standard Time. So the first thing that I am going to do is the collective reading. So what type of what kind of a transit of Mercury that is going to be, and the cards I pre-drew for it so I can use them for the thumbnail are as follows. The first one is Temperance, followed by Seven of Wands, and the third card I drew, that is a Two of Cups. So all of the three cards, they do involve others into our affairs. And therefore, Mercury in Pisces is going to influence the relationships we do have, any kind of relationships really, because a competition is still a relationship you do have with someone. And a big emphasis is going to be on the two policy, on the two ends. It is the best way how I can describe it. The best and the worst type of relationships we can have. And throughout the Mercury running through Pisces, it does look like the influence of the planet, at least according to my tarot cards, is going to push us into making kind of like unlikely alliances. It is the best way how I can describe it here, because at least according to these cards again, there is going to be a common ground that we can find with our competition, and in generally the type of people that are causing us troubles currently. A mutual idea, a mutual opinion, a mutual target or a goal is going to have a huge potential to bind us together. And therefore, finding through that bondage, finding the right measures to push either of our things, both of our things, to move forward, devoided by any kind of risk and any kind of extreme measures. On the contrary, with our stable relationships, Mercury retrograde is gonna put a bit of a strain. How can I describe it? Because I do have it like a picture in my mind how exactly is going to influence our stable relationships, but it's kind of difficult to translate. So it falls is going to attack, quote unquote, attack our stable relationships through the compromises we're making. And it will become harder to kind of put the shoes of our partner, family member, friend, and you name it, making it difficult to accept their different points of view on one thing or another, and making it quite difficult to express solidarity and compassion again towards that different points of view. Just to give you an example, say you are living together with someone, that someone likes to spare a lot of time for their friends, you know, and for their family, putting you aside for a little while. And while up until this point that didn't bother you, in Mercury running through Pisces, that thing will really, I mean, that side of their character will really gonna start gouging your eyes out. It's an expression in our country, making it super obvious, super conspicuous, right? And the more and more it's gonna kind of like run your nerves down. It's gonna make you feel uncomfortable. It's gonna make you feel like you are on the second gear. We are on the second gear because I'm in that count as well, and it could happen to me also. Additionally to it, is gonna make us feel more reserved, not just only us, but also the very same partner. Abating the flow of share, like there are going to be fewer and fewer things that we're going to feel comfortable sharing with these people, with our family, friends, and intimate partners. And in order to overcome that, we need to lean towards the respect we do have towards these people. Okay, in terms of that, even though we do not agree and it's kind of like very difficult to accept their points of view, their a particular type of not type of, but a side of their character and whatnot, to remember that these differences are actually sometimes the cause to make us special to one another, and therefore, even though we do not agree with them, that is not a reason to stop respecting them. And it's all a matter of pushing those 20 days, because from the 6th to 26th, the phase of the planet is going to be like that. When it goes retrograde, the phase shifts and therefore the influence shifts. But to push through these 20 days and focus on the not the bad relationships, but more like a warmongering relationships that we do have up until this point, and right now, like with competitors, rivals, and whatnot, and try to make the most out of them by again finding a common cause, something to bind us and to kill the aggression that it is within these relationships. On a personal note, Mercury going through Pisces is going to be very positive. It's going to be very productive, because whenever the circumstances are quite right, in a sense of that we end up being at the right time with the right people, you know, at the right place, we are going to immediately have the awareness of it and realize that there is a window of opportunity for us to act, to do something, to make a breakthrough, either big or small. And whether we're going to take that chance or not depends on us. But the transit of Mercury through Pisces is going to put us in a constant readiness to jump into action, and we can definitely take advantage of this. So that was the collective reading. Now there are going to be 12 readings just like this one, one for each star sign, and I'm going to run down the ecliptic, meaning that I'm going to start from Aries all the way to Pisces. Bear in mind that these are going to be generalized readings for the star signs. If you do want a personalized reading, you can go to my website, which link you can find in the description down below, and there at the very front page you can see full list of my services and also their pricing. Other than that, if you do enjoy the show and you do wish to support it, you can do so using Super Chat or a PayPal. The PayPal link you can find in the description down below, and anyone who does so makes a donation to the channel is going to have a reading at the end of the stream, personalized reading at the end of the stream. That is guaranteed, just like Yasmin did. Yasmin, thank you for the 20. You're already into the list. So starting up first, that will be Aries. You can keep up what star sign I'm reading for through the glyph and the illustration of the star sign being displayed right there. Cards for Aries, we do have the World, Ace of Cups, and the Sun. So the transit of the planet Mercury for you, Aries, actually is going to push you into a big closure. A closure that wouldn't, I would say, wouldn't supposed to happen. What I mean is that, can I put it to words? Think of it that way. It's on a subject that either is currently prohibited or it lacks the resources to wrap it up. However, when Mercury goes into Pisces within the next day, very quickly and very rapidly, these lacks, right? The deficiencies and the insufficient resources, whatever, that you are currently experiencing on the particular subject. And these deficiencies could be in many different forms. Just to give you an example here, you may need someone to be in the situation, but that someone to be elsewhere, like in a different country, and suddenly their trip is cut short, so they come back. To you in the next 20 days, and bang, suddenly you can like put a closure to the whole case and to the whole situation. It's going to be a difficult closure though. That is something you need to know. The maneuvers that you need to pull through are going to be a bit out of character. They're not going to come very natural to you, so there is going to be a slight resistance from your code of conduct. There's going to be a slight resistance to your principles as well, and it's going to be a bit difficult for you to see how the whole thing, even though you wrap it up, is going to have some potential to grow. The potential is going to be there, but the main reason why you should strive for kind of like wrapping the thing up with selling your real estate property you want to sell, putting a closure to a kind of like a case with your parents, for example, or putting a closure on a messy relationship and whatnot, is because you're going to have after that a quite of a free space that you can fill it up with some kind of a different perspective. What that different perspective, different goal, different target is going to be, you're going to have the freedom to choose so. But once you wrap the whole thing up, your day-to-day routine is going to experience a very big improvement. At least for a little while, you are going to be waking up every single day, kind of like enjoying your time. Taco, thank you for the $22.22. Thank you, Taco. Let me put you into the list. And at the end of the stream, you're going to have a personalized reading, how Mercury retrograde, not retrograde, I'm sorry, Mercury running through Pisces is going to affect you personally. Right, so next one, that'll be Taurus. Those are the cards for you, Taurus. Knight of Wands, the Emperor, and Seven of Pentacles. Mercury retrograde is going to bring a lot of dynamic in your life. I was about to say chaos, not exactly. Is dynamic is the right word here to use, because it's going to throw a lot of enterprising options available in front of you. That at least at first you're going to find yourself being compelled to take advantage or to use all of these options available. Alas, you won't be able to, because you are going to lack, for example, the time to do so, as the day doesn't have 38 hours in it. But what will be kind of like paramount for you is whenever you do find an option you really want to explore, you really want to take advantage of and whatnot, just to throw yourself in it. The biggest problem you're gonna face is perfection, perfectionism, well, if that's a word, being perfect. Okay, uh, because there is going to be that urge for you to strive for better and better and better. No different than, uh, say, you're looking for work and you find a job that really suits you right now, but at that moment, under the influence of these cards, you're going to have the thought, well, perhaps if I don't take that one and search for a couple of days, I may be able to find even a better one. And then, even if that's true, this thought again is going to rush in your mind saying that I maybe are going to be able to find even a better one after that. And you are going to very quickly burn through all of the options that are in front of you, and the only thing that you're going to accomplish with that is finding yourself being burned out. So whenever you stumble upon an option, whether for a date, whether for a job, whether for a way through to clear out a misunderstanding, whatever the case that suits you well, just take it, because it's going to work perfectly, at least for you, with a one caveat to it: you need to have the determination to see it through no matter what, because any type of option that you are going to end up with in the next 20 days will require your undivided attention, your consistency, and also the ability to control the environment, because you're going to have that chance. And basically that will allow you to navigate the whole situation to your liking, throwing the responsibility on you to shape the day-to-day ups and downs, um, you know, and tailor them to your actions and also to your decisions. So basically you can have the end result. God, how can I put that to words? You can reach the end result that you are working toward for as long as you're willing to take on the responsibility for it. But again, here what is going to be really a lack, it is the resource of time, and also in some cases maybe money. Next, that would be Gemini. Taco, are you already in the United States? You said that you are going back to the United States. Some people are willing to trade your place. I mean, a lots of people in the world. Ah, I'm glad that you had figured that one out. All right, for Gemini, the Emperor, Page of Swords, and Death. Uh, Mercury retrograde, the influence of Mercury retrograde, not retrograde, I'm sorry, I don't, um, Mercury going through Pisces. I don't know why I'm focusing on Mercury retrograde, which happens on the 26th. So Mercury through Pisces. The focus on the Mercury through Pisces is going to be on a specific individual that is taking a important role in your life right now. Could be a client, you know, it could be a friend, it could be your child, family member, spouse, and so on and so forth. That will be quite difficult to handle. They are going to be difficult to handle because it will happen that there is a big difference in between your point of view and also their point of view. Long story short, you will want one thing, they're gonna want another, and the biggest issue in that situation is going to be that neither of you will be able to convince the other side in their righteousness, for a lack of better words. No different than, say, you plan a vacation with your spouse, you want to go to the Caribbeans, they want to go to the Seychelles, and neither of you will be able to convince the other that either Caribbeans are better than Seychelles and vice versa, or the Canarians, whatever the case. So that situation applies to almost everything, and the real difficulty that you Gemini are going to face it is if that is a very close individual, like a family member or a spouse. For friends, best thing you can do is just ignore them. But if you can't do that, then these cards in Mercury going through Pisces next 20 days are going to be a trigger for you to make a kind of like something like a spring cleaning, spring renovation in your social circle, and that will be extremely helpful. But in these cases, or in the next 20 days, you gotta take on the reins, right? You're gonna have the tools. You may not like it, in a sense of that you may have to twist here and here and there some hands. Okay, you may have to um, enforce your opinion so your spouse or a family member or even your employee to acquiesce, okay, to your thoughts and to your ideas, and as well to your aims and targets, so that things can run smoothly, and at the end of the day some effective results can be produced. Because otherwise you can as well, you might as well kind of like scratch off these 20 days of having no progress whatsoever on your endeavors if you try to please everyone. So remember that next 20 days, if someone is to be pleased, or if you are to please someone, please yourself first. In order to do that, however, again, you need to take the reins and to be in a constant awareness what is going on around you. So basically, you gotta be on the top of everything all the time, 24/7. Be very consistent and show no weakness, no matter the situation, no matter the cost. There are gonna be well, they can be literally everything. But for example, there are going to be some habits, say, uh, some routines that you may feel in an urge to swap and to change. The advice of the cards is don't rush it, because it's unlikely that you're going to find what to replace them with, and you're going to feel loss by doing so. For example, a habit to have a glass of wine at the end of the evening, for example, the habit of talking with someone that is close to you for an hour or two, for example, the habit of reading a book and whatnot. And you may consider those a waste of time, but even if you stop doing them, you will have what to fill that time with in order to be effective, because doing these things uh, makes you feel rested, for example. It kind of like takes off the edge, and you wouldn't have anything better to take the edge off. Right, next, Cancer. These are the cards for you guys. The Hangman, the High Priestess, and Knight of Wands. Knight of Wands, sorry. These three cards. Mercury retrograde, you will consider, or at least this is how it's going to feel to you, as a very annoying time. No, because there are going to be some threats here and there, but it's because it's going to be super uneventful. It's like any initiation you take, any strive you make to make an improvement is going to face simply a wall, whether it's going to face a wall with the people that are involved, or simply your methods aren't going to work. Either way, you're going to feel like stuck, and that, at least according to these cards, is going to annoy you very much. Reason for that annoyance is going to be a specific individual that it is around you, and you seeing them making progress, having a lot of enterprising events, and having a lot of dynamic in their life, will make you think that, you know, you are, how can I put it to words, ineffective, which couldn't be further than further to the truth than that. You couldn't be further to the truth than that. You basically, at least according to these cards, you have done your part thus far. And now, only thing you gotta do is just kind of wait for the time to come nigh. Because in most of the cases for you, Cancer, you have surpassed the events, you have surpassed the circumstances, and now the circumstances are catching up with you. And so in order for you to have a further progress on your relationship, on your job, you know, on your social life, on your hobbies and whatnot, you gotta wait those circumstances to catch up, so a new opportunities open up. The biggest take you can take from this Mercury going through Pisces is that your concerns, your strive for progress is going to resolve on its own accord. The only thing you gotta do is just wait. Having the assurances here that your job is gonna run as same as it is up until this point, your relationship is sound and safe, you know, your family relationships as well, your friendships, everything that you have currently possess, not just only materially, but also mentally, but also emotionally and morally, is going to be there to stay and is going to stay intact. A specific case here is that for those of you who are single, you're on a road of a colliding with a soulmate. Obviously, the time frame is going to differ for each one of you, but you are on a road of going there. And in this Mercury going through Pisces, this road will become pretty obvious. Through different means, the universe is going to kind of like make you aware that you won't be alone if you want to. And it's just a matter of time that person to show up. Okay, next one, Leo. Those are your cards. Justice, Three of Pentacles, and Nine of Pentacles. Give me a minute. Mercury going through Pisces is going to install a discernment. Basically, you're going to be the only one having the discernment that you as a collective, not just only you, but you as a collective, say you and your family, you and your spouse, you and your friends, you and your team at work, are moving in the wrong direction. And you're gonna be the only one having the balls to raise the question, or to raise the matter, to bring the matter into the light, and you wouldn't be liked by it. So what can you expect here is few things. Definitely you can expect to be abandoned, and some support to be stripped off from you. Support from colleagues, support from management, support from close people. Also, you can expect to have some doors being slammed in your face, figuratively speaking, doors. Uh, Doors of opportunities, doors of enterprises and whatnot. But you will be okay with it, because deep down in you, you will know that they weren't right things for you. These people weren't right for you. These options available weren't right for you. Hello, Joe. Welcome to the stream. And through it, you will focus on what matters for you. Obviously, hello, Yasmin. Welcome to the stream. Obviously, that will differ for each one of you, Leo, but you're going to focus on what matters and what is going to produce for you. And therefore, you will fill up your day-to-day routine with only, I don't know if I should use that word, but I don't know which other word to use, like benign activities, activities that are helpful, that are fruitful, and that are gainful for your job, for your relationship, also for your family, and moving on. But a fruitful cooperations, a fruitful teamwork that you had considered actually fruitful up until this point, is going to happen to be kind of not that fruitful, and opportunities that you had considered a huge leap into development is going to prove to be the wrong opportunities for you. You alone are going to reach to that conclusion, and again, that will be completely okay with you, because this is going to put a revelation on what is actually essential and what is going to produce. For those of you who are single, a huge physical attraction is what you're going to experience. That physical attraction is going to be mutual. So as you are experiencing it towards someone, that someone is going to experience it towards you. Currently, though, no deep emotions, at least not for the next 20 days. That doesn't mean that they cannot develop on a later date. Next one, that will be Virgo. Oops. Oh, a couple of weeks ago, hello, Esme. Welcome to the stream. A couple of weeks ago, my girlfriend was shuffling my cards, and a few cards fell down. And she asked me, "Does that mean anything?" And the cards fall down from the shuffle. Yeah, it kind of means that you do have a small hands. Usually, it doesn't mean anything else. I don't know. Some interpreters are using these cards or signs. To me, it kind of means that I do have a small hands. Favorite, it's American type. It's tobacco based. I don't know if because for what I know, the liquids here in Europe are differently regulated than the liquids in United States, and the flavors are kind of like the ingredients in the liquids are quite different. So I don't know if in the United States you can find that flavor, but it's not a fruit flavor. It's tobacco flavor that I'm vaping. I hate fruit flavor. I don't know why people are kind of like liking them. They have that sweetness which has nothing to do with the feeling of smoking, because this is what you are, or at least that is what I'm seeking, a feeling of smoking without having my cigarette being burned out. Because this is the reason why I went to vaping. I light a cigarette and then I get devoured, but by what I am doing, for example, making videos or playing video games, whatever, and finding that my almost 90% of my cigarette it's kind of like burned out. So vaping is a 100% efficient replacement because you do not kind of like waste any material. These are the cards for Virgo. Four of Wands. This is King, right? Yeah, it's the King of Wands, and it is the Lovers. Mercury going through Pisces is gonna influence your situation, so you come to term with a very important person for you, a person that has a big, or it kind of like it holds your ambition in their hands, and your ambition, whether it's going to be developed or not, depends on that person. They are to be, how can I put it to words? Mm, only they can transform your ambition into a very powerful drive. Maybe, and by the way, uh, through the book that I am listening, I found out that I'm misusing a word, which is allowance, and I am using it like, having someone allow you something, while allowance is just, your change for the day. I kind of like, I feel stupid. But yeah, from there it depends whether you're going to be allowed to kind of like continue on uh, with your goal, or they hold a resource that you need, or they have a connection that you need and whatnot, and you're going to come to terms. Coming to terms, at least according to these cards, would mean that you're going to do something positive for them. You're going to do something they need, as they are going to return the favor and do something you need as well. While for some of you, what they need is going to be something reasonable or something you want to do, either of the two things. So if it is reasonable, you will not gonna want to do it. It's not gonna be your favorite thing of doing. Or if it's unreasonable, you are going to have that, okay, well, it's unreasonable, but I don't mind, right? Either way, you are gonna be super okay with it. It's gonna be so worth it for you. And through this coming to terms with that MVP, um, you will be able to transcend your ambition into the next stage. Transcend your business, for example, into the next stage, your relationship into the next stage. Um, I Again, the ambition could be, and it is different for each one of you. On a personal note, this is a transit that is gonna ignite the urge for you to kind of have fun. So you can expect to have the urge to socialize more in the next 20 days, going out amongst people, partying, and so on and so forth. Joe Q, what is your poison if you are vaping? Oh, okay. I didn't knew that. Libra. Well, same story with me, Joe Q. Same story with me. And I like vaping more. And truth be told, I don't understand why smokers don't go vaping. It's so much more efficient, it's cheaper, it's better, it's simply better every single way. It doesn't clog your lungs. At least this is proven, okay? Medically proven that it doesn't clog your lungs with uh, the thousands more compounds that cigarette has other than nicotine. Uh, right, so those are the cards for Libra. Uh, King of Pentacles, the Magician, and Queen of Swords. Uh, so you Libra are gonna have a pain in the butt in a form of someone that doesn't want to see uh, you finalizing certain things. I don't know. Hold on a second. So this Mercury going through Pisces, you're going to be on on a verge, I'm sorry, of kind of like wrapping a lot of things up, finishing touches here and there that you need to put in order to kind of like close the deal, in order to wrap your situation with, say, a person of interest of yours, to get a promotion and so on and so forth. And there is going to be that one that doesn't want to see that thing happen. And they will put everything they got into it. And unfortunately, at least for these 20 days, is going to work out for them. So you wouldn't be able to finalize and finish a lot of things up. And the worst of all that is going to be that you're going to have other things in mind which are dependable on your finishing touches. Okay, like no different than you are you want to sell a house you have which your parents left you, and you want to renovate it so it reaches a better price, but your neighbor doesn't want that house to be sold to someone random, and so they are kind of like filing up complaint after complaint, which freezes your renovating efforts. And it's you know, and unfortunately you can't do anything about it because it's a procedure, at least for now. But this is gonna clear up a lot of room for you to initiate a new ideas. With that Magician being there to the King of Pentacles, it speaks that you do have some ideas and plans which are sitting on a shelf for a quite some time. Okay, and because these efforts which you are trying to close up are going to end up being futile, at least for the next 20 days, you can allocate resources from them into these ideas which are sitting on your shelf and basically do something about them, and it's going to work pretty well. According to these cards, it's kind of pointless. Try to reason with these people which are going to kind of like put the stick in your wheels and are gonna end up being quite of a big bump in the road, which cannot be overcome, at least in the next 20 days. So it's best to just ignore them, don't get in their way, and do something that does not that isn't touching them in any way possible. So something that is completely ignoring them and is putting them aside. Just don't bother yourself with them. Next, Scorpio. But back to the vaping topic. Many of my friends doesn't want to vape for a very specific reason. Joe Q, remember when the first vaping devices came around? They were so inefficient, and they were right right off a dangerous because they were leaking liquid from everywhere. You try to inhale, and instead of inhaling steam, you inhale liquid. And also they were with unreplaceable parts, so you have to buy a new one and a new one and a new one. They were expensive. But now with the kit where you can buy replaceable parts like the vaporizer, right, the heater, and so on, it's very affordable. It's far cheaper than cigarettes, and it's simply more efficient. Joe Q, thank you for the 10 Canadian. But nonetheless, guys, smoking is bad. Doesn't matter what you smoke or vape. So if you aren't into it, don't start. Do not use them. Well, disposables, they are too weak for my taste. And I think that they are prohibited here. I haven't saw them for a very long time, the disposables, um, because on the black market, there were disposables that were sold. They were quite expensive, but they were filled with the compound of a weed, very dangerous. Few people died, children here. And so the disposables, I think that they took them off from the market, like at all. And you can only buy liquids from designated places that are government approved. They have these stamps that are approved, checked, and basically they are safe to use. These are the cards for Scorpio: Ten of Swords, Page of Swords, and Queen of Cups. And come on, man! It takes like couple of minutes to replace the vaporizer. So it doesn't take, and you can order it to your home. So I don't see how being busy interferes with you having a kit and using liquids. Let me put you into the list, by the way. I forgot to do that. Right. So for Scorpio, that will be a tough one. That will be a tough one. We are gonna find ourselves being pressed to kind of like make a decision while we feel that we aren't ready to make that decision at all. And what is going to make it worse is that we are going to realize, and that also is going to be a reality here, that there is no coming back from this. Once we make up our mind, it's simply uh, the only path after that is forward. We can't kind of like go back on our word, or go back on our choice, or go back on our action here. And the pressure is going to be really big. Uh, it's going to come, that pressure is going to come from a one person that will be very annoying, and it will be kind of like constantly harping about stuff that we simply do not relate to, at least right now. But you know, the insecurity that they are going to ensue in us is going to force us into making that radical decision. And I do believe that for the most of us, the decision is going to be to cut that one loose, then to have nothing to do with them. And if you are thinking right now, for example, for your spouse, I don't believe that that's going to be the case, because that is someone who simply doesn't see the world the way we do see it. And therefore, we are diametrically different in the points of view, in the ideas, in the strive forward. And so it's not going to be a big of a loss, not a loss at all, but the whole situation, the whole process, which we are put under a pressure from that person, that could be also a stalker. Stalker in the sense of that it's constantly appearing, and it's kind of like trying to occupy uh, our time, trying to occupy our attention that we just don't want to give it and whatnot. And it's going to come to that we gotta be rude with that individual. We gotta be very forceful and kind of like make us a someone we don't want to be. But once we are done with all that, then the social interactions are going to improve big time. A specific case for the Scorpio as well is that if you are feeling alone in your things right now and you're struggling, a very unexpected help is about to arrive. It's going to be a one-time offer. You take it or leave it. Advisable for you, according to these cards, to simply take it, not leave it. Under unexpected help, I mean that is going to come from the last person you are expecting at the can I put it to words, at the last moment of need, or the biggest moment of need, I'm sorry. Okay, next, Sagittarius. Yeah, but that is in 10 milliliters, which makes it shoot 3 milligrams per milliliter. That thing has 18 milligrams per milliliter. So they are, it's just, I can't feel them, you know, just can't feel them. The disposable are very light. They are like the lightest cigarettes you can buy on the market. And when I start smoking, and throughout my years of smoking, I was always smoking the heaviest of the heavy. You know, when I inhale, I want to feel it. I want to feel the burn. I want to feel kind of like, I don't know. I hope you know what I mean. So these are the cards for Sagittarius: Eight of Pentacles, the Lovers, and Five of Wands. Chores. It is the best way how I can describe it. So you will become aware, or Mercury going through Pisces is going to trigger your awareness into what is essential in your current endeavors. And you're going to find out that there are very small details that are currently unattended to, okay, that will require your attention in order either your preparation or either your plan to become whole and to be effective once the time comes nigh for it to be executed and for it to be put into action. And these details are going to be very annoying. They are going to be the last thing you want to do right now, but alas, again, they are to be required if you want the things to work out, for example, in between you and your boss, work, colleague, client, spouse, and so on and so forth. You will feel no satisfaction of fulfilling them, and to top it all off, it will kind of like it's gonna feel. The best example I can give here is me tackling a computer first time I buy it. For example, to my girlfriend, um, her present was a computer, and I spent 2 days installing it and putting it into just nothing worked, you know. First time done, nothing worked. Ah, when my father bought a computer, same thing. It was awful. And it's not like I can do it, it's just every time some kind of a different issue pops up that it is out of character. With my computer, same thing. It's just it never works the first time. And so again, with you, it will be like the circumstances are working against you. That is how it's going to feel, while it's not going to be exactly true. It's just the steps needs to be followed to the letter. Otherwise, these out of character issues are going to start popping up. And kind of like you're going to feel annoyed. But if you put enough conscientiousness into what you are doing, you're gonna feel very good at the end, because yeah, it would have been a struggle, it would be an annoying time, but at the end you're gonna find your plan and preparation entirely complete and ready to be put into action, seeing no issues and no predicaments in the following months whatsoever. So it would have worth it. It will worth it. The chores you gotta tackle, they are gonna worth it. Capricorn next. All right. Three of Wands, Knight of Cups, and Six of Pentacles. Well, Capricorn, on a personal note, Mercury going through Pisces, very good time for you. You're going to feel complete into what you are doing right now. Basically, the job is going to be a piece of cake for you, or if it's not a piece of cake, it's going to happen to be very well established I'm sorry, you're seeing no issue into developing what you're supposed to. Your relationship is going to go as expected. And it's simply that's going to put you in a state for you to feel ready for new challenges, to raise the bar, not just only of your expectations, but also to raise the bar of performance and the bar of results. On a social note, though, on a social note is going to be very aggravating. I was about to say annoyed, but it's a very mild word to explain. So this is what happens. You right now are happen to be everything someone wants, someone that is around you. Either you are the business partner they have ever wanted, either you are the lover they have ever wanted, the friend they have ever wanted, and whatnot. But what they want for the future, it's completely different from your wish. And they will try to twist your hands, or rather beguile you into siding with them, in a sense of like abandoning everything and going along with them. And I'm using that word beguiling because what they're going to use are empty promises. Simply, they're going to promise you the world and not going to live up to that promise. So you got to be careful next 20 days what you hear. If it is very good to be true, then it's not true. And what I was about to say, basically they want you to deviate from this urge for improvement, because that is what Mercury going through Pisces is going to trigger for you, an urge kind of like for improvement. So go along with it. No, with the easy way through, or what it seems to be the easy way through, because this is going to be the promise. Oh, what I was about to say is like, yeah, these are going to be empty promises, but you should not consider them as lies, because that person will really want to do what they're promising. It's just they will not going to have the means to do it, at least not at that stage. And so to you, it's going to feel like a lie, but actually it isn't. Okay, next, Aquarius. Rise in Aquarius, I love that. I am Rise in Aquarius. Two of Swords, Seven of Swords, and Ten of Wands. A huge answer is coming from Mercury going through Pisces as a trigger. And that is going to be the answer, how to turn the tides in our favor in every single situation. And additionally to it, the answer of how to install an equilibrium in our lives, how to make our job not to interfere with our love life, and vice versa as well. How to make, for example, our social life not to interfere with our love life, and vice versa, and so on and so forth. How to put every single aspect into our lives in a way that it doesn't interfere with the other aspects that are around. It does not obstruct them, nor it helps them. And it's going to be a difficult process, or rather like a consuming process. Not difficult, but a consuming process. There are going to be a lot of aspects that needs to be worked over from us. And it will be a demanding times. Like, we're going to find ourselves very busy going forward with the work, going forward with the love lives, with our love life, if we do have one. But at the end of the day, when we look back, we're going to see everything well structured and equalizing itself, in a sense of that it creates a peace. And by the end of this Mercury in Pisces, at least by the look of these cards, we're going to find ourselves very pleased with how our lives are structured, not just only because we're going to reach that equilibrium, but because the other answer we're going to acquire throughout the next 20 days, again, is how to make things in our favor, how to get what we think we deserve, how to get the money we think we deserve, the attitude we think we deserve, the respect we think we deserve. For that though, a storming will be required. What I mean is that we need to storm and make a claim, storm the situation and make a claim, like slam our fist on the table and say, no, I do deserve that, right? Also, loans. Next 20 days are going to be perfect for us to take back what is owed to us. Loans, favors, and so on and so forth. What we're gonna come up as one of the conclusions that we're gonna come up with in the next 20 days is that no matter how much we try to satisfy everyone, that will be impossible feat. It's simply, there is going to be, no matter what we do, there is always going to be someone that is displeased. So why don't we try satisfy ourselves first, and then if there is still some fuel in us left, then we can think of how to satisfy someone else. Okay, and last but not least, Pisces. These are the cards for Pisces. Five of Wands, King of Swords, Page of Cups. It's a turn of a tide for you, Pisces. It's a turn of a tide in terms of a relationship. Think of it that way. Two people, one with which you have a good relationship with, and another that you don't. And it's going to turn out that the one you don't have a good relationship with is actually the one that can present you not just only with an answer, but also with a treatment. For example, two colleagues. You like the one very much, the other not that much. In fact, you may happen to despise the other. But in a moment of need, it will happen that the one you despise actually can help you with your struggle, with your problem. Not just only help you, but solve even the issue for you. Say you have two therapists that can kind of like offer you a treatment. Okay, you like the one, how it treats you, the pleasant words they are saying you and whatnot, sugarcoating the whole issue. The other one is blunt, right into your face, kind of like saying the truth as it is. You dislike them for it, but it happens that they are going to be the answer to your struggle. So it's shifting tides here, and throughout the Mercury going through Pisces, you will come up to realize that you don't have to like the one you're going to work with. You just have to produce results with them. And in an hour of need, this is going to be the realization that is going to strike you. And if you do want to make a reversal here, to get on top of things, you're going to have to kind of like acquiesce to the thought that you have to work with someone or be with someone that you do dislike. It happens time to time because the one you like simply cannot hold up to the change you need. So that was for the 12th. and now the super chat. But before that, give me a second. Thank you for the email, Yasmin. I'm going to reply on it once I'm done with the stream here. All right, first one, will be Yasmin. Mm. Well, JQ, I don't have a particular feeling about the upcoming eclipse. I hope it's gonna be good. I will certainly gonna make a live stream about it. These are the cards for you, Yasmin. King of Cups, Ace of Cups, and the High Priestess. Now, on a personal note, Mercury going through Pisces is going to focus mostly on your personal relationship and work as well. And is going to seclude them one from another, meaning that your job and your relationship are not going to intermingle. One is not going to interfere with the other, which kind of like is gonna make you feel whole and complete and quite happy, by the way. The specific thing and what Mercury through Pisces, going through Pisces, is going to trigger is going to be an offer or a proposal that comes from the head of your family, bloodline family, I mean. If your elders are around, then it's going to come from one of your elders. Very exclusive offer to you, only to you, at least for now. And this offer, first is going to be, I don't want to say the word lucrative because it may not be, but it will be gainful. Let's put it that way. It's going to be very gainful. And it's going to revive an extinguished hope. That is what the cards are explaining here. And it will present a security for the future. But again, the offer is going to be exclusively for you. Another hint that I can give you is that at first it's not going to seem at something big, but once you read the paper, because there is going to be some papers involved in it. Once you see the papers, you will realize how much you can go with taking advantage of this offer and actually saying yes. According to these cards, that's an offer that when you think about it, there will be no reasonable reason for you to decline it. It's a plus in every way you see it. In these cases, Yasmin, the only reason why people may decline such kind of an offer is ego. And you shouldn't allow your ego, if you do have one, and pride, of course, to get in the way of your happiness. You can expect to present yourself super professional at work, which is going to further consolidate your job, and also is gonna pave a way for you to get some. I was about to use that word again. Allowances, not allowances, but to open up some options available for you at work that wasn't available up until this point. So very, very positive transit of Mercury for you is going to trigger a lot of positive things for you. Okay, next, Taco. Actually, Taco, you're going to be last. So as per our agreement, so next, that will be Joe Q. Oh, you're welcome, Yasmin. All right, for work, what you need to know is that you do have the astute sense to understand the ins and outs of the matters at hand, whether it's an opportunity, whether it's an issue, and it all falls to that to follow that sense. Is going to be like like an intuition, right? I don't know what kind of a position you are taking, but if it is a management position, you're going to have the awareness how to distribute the workload in a way that it will be the most efficient. And following these two qualities of yours at work will allow you to prevail into every single task that is going to be bestowed upon you. On a personal goals, three of wands, what you need to know it is that you are underselling yourself and you need to up the expectations. Kind of like you need to up the expectation toward yourself, the expectation toward the personal goal, and to lift also the bar of your performance. You basically need to challenge yourself more. That is what you need to know, because you can definitely do more. You're ready to do more on a personal front. All right, and last but not least, that will be Taco. You're welcome. All right, tackle. Hold on a second. These are your Lenormand cards. They speak about a news you're gonna get. It's going to be a positive, at least a slightly positive news that will regard to your family. These are the tarot cards. And it's a bit tricky to explain. So this news that you're going to get about your family will, I would say that way, will make you realize that little by little you are getting through with them, in a sense of that kind of like you are ensuring I believe it's a trait. But this news that you are gonna get from them, it's that kind of like you are ensuring little by little a certain future there, a good future, okay, a stable future with a family endeavors. However, there are some actions or some deeds that you are planning right now which are going to put that future under threat. And the worst example I can think of, based on the things I know about you, is say you receive a news that your family isn't happy with you leaving for Colombia, and you are planning to leave for Colombia. Now you're back into the United States, and little by little, okay, by you staying in the United States, that consolidates, you know, your position with the family, and it's putting you on the positive side of the matter. But by you going back into, for example, Colombia, and that is just an example, right? It may not concern that. But going back to Colombia, again, is kind of like putting a wedge in between you and your family, a big one. It's just these plans of yours, and you will become aware what those plans are going to be accepted as a betrayal from your family if you do execute them, if you do manifest those plans. And so you're going to have a decision to make here, whether to please your family. That is going to, at least according to these cards, is going to pay off a big time in the future, or just go along with you know, whatever you like to do that is going to be faced and considered very selfish, disrespectful, humiliating, and as a betrayal again. But what is advised from these cards as far as Mercury going through Pisces is concerned is not to give a definitive answer just yet. Okay, it's best to sit on your current progress with your family and just wait and see what they are going to do instead. Don't take the initiative. And on a personal front, Mercury going through Pisces, it's a perfect time for you to handle your personal affairs, stabilize them, and basically put them to rest. So, mate, pay attention when you do have talks with the members of your family, sisters, brothers, cousins, aunts, whatever the case, what they're telling you, because it's going to be very important. Don't brush it off. Well, they don't speak anything about marriage unless you plan to have a child. Okay? If you do plan to have a child, then you have a big chance to conceive one in the next 20 days. But as you mentioned once that you don't plan that, I do not share that information because I do believe that when you don't want to know something or you don't ask for something, you aren't supposed to know it. But now that you asked, yeah, I mean, at least according to the Lenormand cards, huge, no, it's not just a change, it's almost given that you can conceive a child within the next 20 days. Could be, but I do believe that it's going to be from someone older, maybe your aunt, because I know that you do have an aunt, maybe your mother or your father, one of those. So yeah, all right, guys and girls, that's going to do it for tonight. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for your generosity. Hopefully we're going to see each other around, and until then, bye.